The Chandler-Gilbert baseball team looks to get back on track. Tonight, the squad welcomes in conference rival and defending Division I champion Central Arizona. It's the Coyotes and Vaqueros on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. So glad to have you with us. Coach John Watson and the Coyotes going through a rough patch, having lost 6 straight. Joe Pequeno along with the doctor, Adam Perry, as well as Furry Inc., the businessman, the future leader of America on the business side. Bill Gates, watch out. His name is Andrew Furry. Fellas, so glad to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday night right here at Chandler-Gilbert. And, of course, big-time buzz with the Vaqueros in town, the defending D1 champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this game, the Coyotes, we're really going to see what this team is made of here. Coming out of a rut like this game is an absolute statement piece for them. And if they can, pick up a big win here today, they would have an upward outlook towards the rest of the season.
The squad lost a twin bill to D2 Power Madison at home Thursday. Then Friday, the squad lost at Central Arizona 12-0. So the Coyotes coming into this one 13-11 overall, 7-8 in league. Central Arizona 21-5 on top of the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference at 21-5. And Andrew, they come in here smoking. They've won 10 straight.
Yeah, so the Coyotes today just really have to keep their heads up, coming out of we're on a losing streak, they're on a winning streak. It's hard to shift that momentum, and that's the Coyotes' goal today. So we're really just going to get behind our pitcher, Trey, and just let him do work and carry us through this game, and we're going to back him up in any way possible.
No question, Trey Peters on the mound, the firing right-hander. Behind him, defensively, for the Coyotes, you have Tate Lewis behind the dish, Dante Turgeon at first base, Jameson Armstrong at second, Camden Plew, Ethan Hatch at third, Matthew Diamato in left, Ben Hashizaki in center, and Ryder Hancock in right field. Starting lineup for the Vaqueros. Leading off, playing right field, Tyrese Johnson. Playing first base, batting second, Blake Avila. Batting third, playing left field, Jonathan Hernandez. The center fielder, batting fourth, Ashton Webb. DHing, Mario Bajarano. Batting sixth, the catcher, Lou Albrecht. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Marcus Harrison. Batting eighth, Luke Thiel, the shortstop. And Thiel is among the league leaders in hitting at .426, third in the conference. So watch out for Luke Thiel. And batting ninth, Cooper Schulte, the third baseman. So Trey Peters on the hill, getting his warm-ups in. And Trey Peters is a young man who, when he's on his A game, can flat out bring it. A record of 3-0 on the year, ERA of 3.24. And here we go with Tyrese Johnson stepping in. And this Central Arizona team, they come in collectively hitting .290 on base percentage, .402 slugging, .402 with 11 home runs, and a team that just flat out knows how to win. And right off the back, Johnson fouls one off, and he comes in hitting .354 on base percentage of .460, .427. And Doc, no question, Peters has got to set the tone tonight on that bump for the Coyotes.
Yeah, absolutely. As that ball is flared into shallow right field, Ryder Hancock, the trusty Canadian, right underneath it for the first out of the inning. And, Trey Peters just has to be himself here tonight, Joe. Through 25 innings on the season, he's got an ERA just above 3.2, and he strikes out a lot of guys, so that's definitely something to look out for when Trey Peters is on the bump.
Stepping in is first baseman Blake Avila, looking to do some damage against Trey Peters. And the Vaqueros led by Anthony Gillich, entering his 8th season as head coach and 15th overall at Central Arizona, winning 2 national championships under his guidance, the team with 4 collectively. And Peters working fast against Avila. Right-hander versus left-hander. Trey Peters with that bump move, and this one a slow little tap foul. So Trey Peters gets the quick out. Tyrese Johnson flies out, and now Avila trying to stay alive on the dish with Trey Peters humming aggressively. So Peters locking in, getting the sign. And this one, lifted foul, out of play. Avila stepping in, trying to find himself collectively, hitting .233. 17 hits and 73 at-bats, 6 RBIs, and no home runs in that 2-hole. And this one lifted to center field, and going back and coming in is Ben Hashizaki and Trey Peters. A couple fly balls early in this one.
To the Canadians.
Yeah.
So thank you to our family north of the border for shipping those guys down here.
Yeah, good things come from Canada. We had the classic band Rush. We had the comic book superheroes Alpha Flight, courtesy of the MCU.
Right.
And we have, I'm reaching.
Yeah,
we have,
just grasping.
And we have Hashizaki and Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, which sounds like that could be like a great restaurant. Hey, let's go out to Hashizaki and Armstrong tonight for some steaks and lobster.
Yeah.
That could be a combination right there. So needs to say, as I digress, Peters, as this one's fouled out of play, as Jonathan Hernandez steps in. Hernandez hitting .353 on the year. Redshirt freshman, infielder, facing Trey Peters. And Hernandez watching a beauty for strike 2. So Trey Peters coming in, Doc, record of 3-0. Consistency on the bump, and Trey Peters is providing it. And that's a bender on the outside corner, and the cap flies off Trey Peters' head. No question he wanted it, didn't get the call, but it was a beauty.
Yeah, and talking about Trey Peters and how his season has been so successful so far, one of the key attributes to that is that he only has 4 walks through 25 innings, and we see it right there. He's always in the strike zone as he gets the swing and miss for strike 3. So we'll head into the bottom of the first. Coyotes looking to draw blood first.
And the Coyotes ready to take their licks against lefty Matt Wilkinson, number 42, and he's got the juice on the hill, Doc. Record of 5-0, ERA 1.54.
Ready?
Yeah, that's incredibly impressive. He has been dominating this season, and the Chandler-Gilbert Coyotes know about this guy a little bit. Plays in the same Canadian league as most of our guys are born and bred from, on the Okotoks Dogs. So very interesting to see how this matchup will go right here as Ben Hashizaki leads off the Coyotes, and these two know each other.
Hashizaki stepping in, hitting .282, will be followed by Jameson Armstrong and Camden Plew. Wilkinson, first pitch to Hash. Busts a fastball on the outside part of the plate. His battery mate, Lou Albrecht, at first base. Blake Avila at second base. Marcus Harrison, the shortstop. Luke Thiel, Cooper Schulte at third. And this one lifted left side, and great play by Cooper Schulte. Reaching out and reaching with fantastic leather for the first out here in the bottom of the first. And that right there, fellas, a play like that, when you see your third baseman, you're the rest of the defenders on the field. What does that do when you get that kind of play just to start a game?
It gets you amped up, man. Seeing a guy going all out like that on, a foul ball, he could have let that drop and, kept the at-bat alive as J-Mo lays a beautiful bunt down, fielded by Schulte again, and the throw is in time. So Jamison Armstrong, flash bunt, laid it down, but couldn't beat that one out. And that'll bring up number 3, Mr. Green Jacket, Camden Plew.
Yeah, Camden Plew checking in, hitting .253 on the year. And right out of the gates, Cooper Schulte already putting on a clinic at third base. Yeah. Diving on a short little flare, plus the nice 5-3 put out on the bunt attempt. And Plew takes a pitch over from the fiery left-hander, Matt Wilkinson. And Wilkinson misses inside. So these longtime conference rivals, and Doc and Fur Inc., give me the buzz about Central Arizona coming to your house for this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Central Arizona, they have the target on their back still. As Fury mentioned yesterday, they're 10 games hot, and, we're 6 games down. So a game like this is just a huge, huge opportunity for these Coyotes to get back on track.
Central Arizona winning the national title last year under their head coach. And this one skied down the right field line, out of play. And ready, off to a fast start. 21-5, 13-2 in league play. They've won 10 straight. And look, the weather's not even warm in Arizona yet, and this Vaqueros team is red hot.
Yeah.
Wilkinson and Plew could not hold it. So after one, no score from Chandler-Gilbert. We go to the top of the second. Ashton Webb leading off against Trey Peters, followed by Mario Barrerano and Lou Albrecht. Webb stepping in, hitting .280 on the year. And we'd like to welcome a newcomer to the Chandler-Gilbert broadcast team, and that is our boy, Nate Ortiz, working that camera like a champ. And maybe at some point in this one, we'll get a little Ortiz breakdown in this one.
Absolutely.
He's anxious. He's working that camera. He's got a big smile on his face. He's ready to bring it, and I'm fired up to see that. This one lifted to the right side, and short little grab for the first out of the inning is Jamison Armstrong. One pitch, one out, and that is some quality work by Trey Peters on the mound. And stepping in is Barrerano. Barrerano getting his first look at Trey Peters. Barrano stepping in. Lefty versus righty. Takes a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Barrano hitting .371. A freshman. Takes a first pitch for a strike, and Peters comes right back. This one bounced up the middle. Ranging to his right is Armstrong. Armstrong throws over, and Armstrong with a beautiful leather for the 4-3 putout. J-Mo with the answering of the great play by Cooper Schulte at third base, and Armstrong proving there's plenty of leather in that Coyotes defensive lineup as well.
Yeah, once again, I mean, I referred to him as a human highlight reel once before, and on defense, man, he just keeps on proving himself. Like, it feels like week after week he's making another ESPN top 10 caliber play. It's just in his blood as Trayson Peters deals strike one.
Lou Albrecht stepping in, takes a first pitch strike, and Trey Peters winding and delivering, and this one sky to the right side, and going back with a chance to make the play is Dante Turgeon, and Dante Inverno dials it in, and Trey Peters with another effective 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the second. Coyotes ready to swing the sticks. We go to the bottom of the second, and stepping in for the Coyotes is Dante Turgeon. And Turgeon tied for fourth in the league in RBIs with 22, fourth in homers with 4, and hitting a robust .403. And Doc and Furry Inc., no question, Dante has brought it. He's brought the goods for this team offensively.
Yeah. Day in and day out, Dante Turgeon just shows up to just improve and produce for this Yodi offense. And he's, I can't really say the centerpiece because there's so many studs in this Yodi offense, but he's definitely one of the main components for this Yodi's offense. But the Yodis are going to have to get through Matt Wilkinson tonight, and he's thrown 2 CGs on the season, posting that impressive 1.54 ERA. No easy task tonight for the Coyotes.
Turgeon followed by Lewis and Ryder Hancock. First pitch from Wilkinson. Throws it high, throws it upstairs, and Turgeon swings right through it. And when you look at Matt Wilkinson, he's got kind of that bigger frame, and he reminds me of David Wells, who used to pitch for the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees, and a very crafty left-hander that can work the ball in and out with a big hook, and had a great major league career.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch to Dante. And Dante swings right through it.
Healthy hack from Dante.
So a game like this, you got 2 aces on the mound. Every run could be critical. Every play defensively could be critical, and it's great to see both sides bringing the defense early. Cooper Schulte at third for Central Arizona, and we just saw the great play by Jameson Armstrong ranging to his right, and the throw over for the putout. So great to see some great defense early from both sides in this one.
Dante's definitely the man that could definitely get something going for the Coyotes here today. So, see here.
And he waves right through that one for the first out here in the second inning, and stepping in is Tate Lewis, and Lewis 5th in the conference with a 4.08 average. Tate having a great year, and had a chance to see him. He was warming up with one of his teammates beforehand, and nice young man. You'd like to see a kid who's focused as he waves through a first pitch from Wilkinson. Focused in and doing what he needs to do to put his name out there and get some recognition. Wilkinson winds, delivers, and busts a fastball over the plate. And Wilkinson showing why he's one of the top pitchers.
I think it's also confidence, Joe. Out of all the pitchers we've seen so far, I don't think I've seen anyone just up there this confident.
Yeah, he's just bouncing around up there, and this one is skied straight back. Fury's gonna lay out and try and make a play on that.
Always.
Didn't make the play though, unfortunately.
Yeah, no question. When you're on the hill, you got to have confidence, and along the way, the ability to back that up. And Wilkinson just seems like he just goes out there, and every pitch is business as usual. He expects to throw well, and he's doing so early. Misses inside, and Lewis stays alive at the dish. Wilkinson, a sophomore, he's thrown 35 innings. And like you said, a couple complete games. And Adam, I think in this day and age, we all know going the distance is never an easy task.
No, it's incredibly impressive. And he's having a great time up there.
Oh, yeah.
He's smiling, laughing, talking to his catcher.
Yeah, he's got
Looks like he's just playing catch up there right now.
He's got a good connection with his battery mate, Lou Albrecht, behind the plate, and Wilkinson. He's got a 2-2 count, got the glove in front of his face, and he's ready to rock and fire. And Tate Lewis takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate for the second out of the inning. And stepping in is Ryder Hancock, and Ryder ready to do some damage against this lefty. And Hancock stepping in, hitting .319. 23 hits and 72 at-bats with 9 RBIs. The Fighting Canadian, Ryder Hancock, had the opportunity to meet his grandparents probably about a month ago right here.
Yes.
Very nice people.
Today as
Yeah.
well.
And they also told us that Ryder is a tremendous hockey player. But right now, he's not on skates. He's on spikes, and he's in a battle with Wilkinson down 0-2 in the count. Wilkinson, crafty, 0-2 pitch, and just fires that right by Ryder Hancock. And Matt Wilkinson showing why he's one of the best pitchers in the nation. 3 up, 3 down, all by Ks. We go to the third, scoreless from Chandler-Gilbert. We go to the top of the third. It's going to be Marcus Harrison, Luke Thiel, and Cooper Schulte about to take their hacks against Trey Peters. Peters so far, dynamite through 2. Marcus Harrison stepping into the dish, hitting .261. And so far, through 2, Doctor, the pitchers in total control.
Yeah, this game is absolutely a pitcher's duel right now. And, as from a fan perspective, man, this is a fun game to watch. I can't wait to see which side is going to crack first. And I have a feeling it's not going to be the Coyotes. Trey Peters is dialed in tonight.
First pitch, fastball over the plate. Harrison takes it looking for strike 1. And Peters working quickly. And that bender bounces in the dirt. And we got a good crowd on here. We have fans from Central Arizona College, and we have some local high schools in attendance because, look, both squads, they're going to bring their fan bases. They're going to bring their share of recruits. And when you got the defending national champions in the Casa, that brings an added buzz to the home turf.
Yeah.
Peters
knows what he wants to throw here.
Yeah. Exuding that confidence.
Oh, yeah.
And a great pitch by Trey Peters. That bender on the outside part of the plate, and Marcus Harrison fishing and going back to the bench for the first out here in third and stepping in. We talked about Luke Thiel, and Thiel is a flat-out baller, hitting .426, third in the conference. And here's a young man that can flat-out get it done. Very talented at the dish. First pitch, and this one skied down the right field line, giving chase is Hancock, and Hancock over and makes the play for the second out here in the third. Stepping in, Cooper Schulte. Schulte hitting .321 and off to a good start, and no question, flashed that leather. Diving stop in the third, and a great put out on a bunt attempt by Jameson Armstrong. Peters going to work. First pitch to Cooper Schulte, and that is low for ball one.
Peters doing a good job of mixing up his pitches. He sports a 4-pitch mix of a 4-seam, cutter, changeup, and curveball. The curveball has a little bit of slide to it sometimes, as we saw in the last K. That one looked like the cutter right there. Some late tight movement from Peters, and he looks like he's locked in tonight.
Fouled out of play, evens the count at 1 apiece. Coyotes playing Schulte straight away. 2 outs here in the third. Both teams still looking for their first base hit in this one. And the umpire waves that one off. Maybe high, coming in for ball 2. 2-1 count. Appreciate you. Joe Pequeno here with the doc and Furry Inc., the business leader of tomorrow. That is Adam Furry. This one skied to right. Ryder Hancock coming in, and Hancock right there and gloves it, and that's going to do it for the Vaqueros here in the third. Trey Peters on his A game, and the home crowd loving it as we go to the bottom of the third. Coyotes ready to swing the lumber. Bottom of the third. Coyotes looking to crack the Vaqueros ace. That is the lefty, the hard throwing Matt Williamson on the mound. Checking in, Ethan Hatch, followed by Matthew Diamato, as well as Blake Tigas. Hatch stepping in, hitting .246. And the lefty, so far, 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. Bringing his A game on the mound. Locked in with his battery mate, Lou Ulbrecht. First pitch to Ethan Hatch. And that hits the inside part of the plate for strike 1. the lefty. And this time misses low for ball 2. Matt Wilkinson. One count. It hits the inside part of the plate, and it goes to 1-2. Record of 5-0. ERA 1.54. Sophomore, no question. He'll be playing D1 ball somewhere. This one skied straight back. Catcher Lou Albrecht giving chase, and Albrecht is right there. And great poise. Found his spacing and gloved it for the first out here in the bottom of the 3rd. And Andrew, I know as a catcher you can appreciate what Lou Albrecht did right there. Just the ability to take the mask off, find his poise, and make that play look routine.
Oh yeah, and for the pitcher as well, the pitcher is extremely happy to get those because you're usually just going to get a foul ball and going to have to continue battling. And to get a quick, easy out like that, especially from your catcher, who they go hand in hand, man. The pitchers really appreciate the catchers, and when the pitchers are on, the catchers really appreciate the pitchers. So I'm sure that's exactly what happened there.
So Matthew D'Amato stepping in, hitting .294. Fouls a couple off, and now Wilkinson with an opportunity to break the bender here, Doc. Do we see it right here? 0-2 count.
You know, Wilkinson, he can almost throw whatever he wants here out of his arsenal. You know, 0-2, he can play around with just about anything, and he flashes the bender there. Doesn't get the swing from Sal D'Amato, but nevertheless, yeah, Matt Wilkinson, his ability to really put his fastball wherever he wants has been his biggest asset so far here tonight. And when you can place the fastball wherever you want, it gives you more confidence with the off speeds, gives you more wiggle room with the off speeds. You know, he's just having fun right now. He's just playing around up there.
And give D'Amato some credit, laying off 2 benders. 2-2 pitch from Wilkinson. This one knocked to the left side, bobbled, and the throw over, and that's a good one. Great pickup play by Cooper Schulte. Knocked it down, but kept his poise. That's the most important thing. He kept his poise and threw a dart over to first base. And we have 2 down here in the 3rd, and stepping in is Blake Tigges. Tigges with an opportunity. The young man stepping in, and limited reps, and he's making the most of what he gets, hitting .600 on the year. And like to see a young man who gets limited chances an opportunity to do some damage and make a name for himself, especially in a game with this kind of cachet with Central Arizona in town.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that we'll be seeing Blake Tigges a lot more often. You know, Joey Gentile, his season is unfortunately over. Came back. He has a torn left labrum, so that'll be quite a 6 to 8, maybe more month-long recovery time. So prayers for him for sure. But Blake Tigges popping this one to right field.
And Tyrese Johnson hauls that in. So once again, both sides, both pitchers leading the charge. We go to the 4th, scoreless from Chandler-Gilbert. We go to the 4th inning. A couple things we like to point out. Soon enough, we're going to break out debuting the dance cam with the 7th inning stretch, and maybe Nate Ortiz would like to join us on that. And Nate can bust a move. We can see that right there.
Yeah.
But the pace of this one.
The pace.
31 innings, 31 minutes in, and we're already in the 4th inning.
Yeah, the pace definitely been the key to this game, and it's led by both of the pitchers. And it's not necessarily that, they're quickly getting on the mound, throwing their pitches again. It's just that they're being efficient. They're throwing pitches in the strike zone that they know the hitters are going to have a hard time hitting. They're getting weak contact, and they're trusting their defense. So both pitchers are peppering the zone so far tonight, and their efficiency has led to a pretty speedy game, as we already have one down here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, Tyrese Johnson flies out to Matthew D'Amato in left field. So stepping in is Blake Avila, who popped to center his first time up. So Trey Peters working efficiently and not going deep into pitch counts. First pitch, and this one's bounced to the right side. JMO makes it look easy, slings it over, and we got 2 outs. 2 pitches, 2 outs, and Doc, that's how you like to dial it up.
Yeah. Can't get much better than that. Trey Peters working with maximum efficiency here tonight.
Jonathan Hernandez checking in, struck out his first time up. So Trey Peters, 2 pitches, 2 outs, and making sure he catches Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania at 10:30 at Harkins.
Yeah.
At the Chandler Fashion by 10:30, 10:45. And look, if you go there, get the hot popcorn, it's always great. I'm a big fan of Harkins. I watch a lot of movies. It's
hard to beat.
Yeah.
Just the experience, yeah.
It's just
Classic.
a good. It's just
going to feel like a movie.
It's just a good couple hours to unplug from the world, right?
Yeah.
Peters busts that pitch on the outside part of the plate. Comes right back with a bender. That's a beauty. And Hernandez is swinging through that and getting nothing. And he's got a 1-2 count. And I love the fact that Trey Peters is out there. He's like, Wilkinson, their ace, I'm bringing it. I'm bringing the A game. And 1-2 pitch, try to bring the bender and try to get Hernandez to chase, and goes to 2-2. But I like the fact that, no question, Trey Peters has got a little chip on his shoulders facing this Vaqueros team tonight.
Yeah, and he's absolutely playing like it. He's showing out tonight. He threw the cutter there, I believe, but just tried to do too much with it and yanked it. That time, he left it down the middle, and underneath it is one of our trusty Canadian outfielders, Ben Hashizaki. So that'll head us in to the bottom of the 4th. Matt Wilkinson looking to post another O against this Coyote offense.
So far, 18 up, 18 down here at Chandler-Gilbert. Both sides, both aces, Trey Peters and now Matt Wilkinson going through the Coyotes lineup for a second time. Ben Hashizaki stepping in. Flared a little soft liner that Schulte at third base made a diving catch on for the first out in the first. Wilkinson, and he peppers the zone with the fastball on the outside part of the plate. A lot of buzz about this Vaqueros team coming in, and Wilkinson after the Vaqueros picked up the victory last night by the count of 12-1. And Wilkinson. Hashizaki swings and misses for the second strike. Wilkinson showing a fastball, busting it in and out. Nice breaker, in total control. In a good rhythm with his catcher, Lou Albrecht. Hashizaki has to protect the dish here, and Wilkinson misses way outside. Hashizaki ended the day hitting .282. And Wilkinson winds and delivers. And this one busted on the inside part of the plate. And Wilkinson making it look easy. His 5th strikeout already. Checking in, Jamison Armstrong, who was robbed by Schulte on a bunt attempt in the first. And Schulte playing on the grass. And Jamo fouls that one off for strike one. Wilkinson, the big lefty, comes back with a breaker, and that misses on the outside part of the plate. So, Andrew, no question the team going through a little bit of a tough stretch, losing the last 6, but as you mentioned, the team ready to get after it here tonight.
Yeah, no, our heads are never down. Like, in between games, we just know what we have to do, and we're always having a positive mindset. We're looking to do better in every game, and even with Central, all the hype that's behind them, we know that we got to play our kind of baseball in order to win.
And Armstrong fouls that one off. It goes to 2-2, and no question, to get a victory here tonight against one of the best pitchers in the nation on the JUCO circuit would certainly give the Coyotes a confidence boost in a big way.
Oh, absolutely.
Wilkinson dialing in a 2-2 pitch. And that misses high on the outside part of the plate. And Jamo works it full. On deck, Camden Plew struck out his first time up. Wilkinson, 3-2 count, payoff pitch to Jamison Armstrong. This one skied out of play, and Jamo with a quality AB here. And sometimes it just takes that quality AB to throw a pitcher off his rhythm. And hopefully Armstrong has got the juice here to get on in some shape or form. 3-2 pitch. And a quality at-bat by Jamison Armstrong. And that is the first runner of the game.
Wow.
Wow.
That is in the 4th inning, Joe?
4th inning.
Bottom of the 4th.
40 minutes into this one, fellas, and we finally have a base runner. Stepping in, Camden Plew struck out his first time up. And the question is, let's play John Watson, managerial hat. Little hit and run here, potentially.
And we've seen it a lot this season, so I wouldn't be too surprised.
And Wilkinson wasting no time, letting Armstrong know he's staying close to first base. Vaqueros playing Plew straight away. Defense looking for the double play up the middle, potentially. First pitch, Plew swings right through it for strike one. Wilkinson, once again, numbers 5-0, 2 complete games, 1.54 ERA. Sophomore. You'll see him, no question, pitching D1 sometime soon. In a zip code across America. He's got the stuff. And Doc, no question, from one pitcher to another, you have to admire, especially a lefty who's got all the goods in handling his business in the circle.
Yeah, Matt Wilkinson putting on a performance tonight as he picks off there. Jamison Armstrong going to be caught dead in the water there. So Matt Wilkinson showing that he's a complete pitcher. J-Mo took off there, but Matt Wilkinson with the timely pickoff, able to erase his mistake.
So Wilkinson not only showing the savviness on the circle, but showing the poise with a runner on base.
He looked a little irritated that he allowed a base runner, and he was just ready to get him off.
And throws a bender on the outside part of the plate. Now Plew with a couple strikes. Camden Plew at the dish. This one fouled straight back. Good crowd on hand. Plenty of Vaquero fans here. Plenty of Coyotes fans here. Plenty of high school fans here as well. All we need is Paulo Hutchison to make a pizza run, and we are set.
Yeah.
Plew trying to stay alive against Matt Wilkinson. This one skied out of play, heading toward the trees and the road right behind the ball yard. Absolutely fantastic weather for baseball. Not even a chill in the air.
I love this. This is a perfect night game weather.
We call this Chamber of Commerce weather, and that is just a Chamber of Commerce pitch by Matt Wilkinson, freezing Camden Plew. And once again, no runs, no hits, none left on. We go to the bottom of the fourth. No score from Chandler-Gilbert. We go to the top of the fifth. Ashton Webb stepping in. Flew out to right his first time up against Trey Peters, who's mashed Matt Wilkinson. Pitch for pitch. Only one base runner allowed in this one by Wilkinson, and he picked off Armstrong in the top half, and now Peters looks to go to work. Armstrong actually was picked off in the lower half of the fourth, as we are now in the fifth, and Trey Peters busting that bender on the outside part of the plate. Peters working quickly. That one fouled off, and 2 strikes on Ashton Webb. Webb, a sophomore, part of last year's great title run. And Peters wanted that call and does not get it. Walked it off, tried to sell it. Two strikes on Ashton Webb, and the bender knocked down the left field line. That's the first base hit of this one. Webb turning first. Play at second base, and Webb diving in. Draws the leadoff double off Trey Peters, and the Vaqueros making some noise here in the top of the fifth.
Ashton Webb posting a pretty impressive 280 batting average on the season, and he's got 2 bombs to go along with that, so he's got some pop, and he can hit. He's got 82 at-bats on the season, second highest on the team, so he's been putting in the work.
Ethan Hatch with a quality effort just could not get to it. And Ballerano stepping in with a runner in scoring position. And Peters showing no signs of letting down after the leadoff double. Fires a fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike one.
Yeah, his foot is still on the gas.
Barano. Peters looking back, the runner. And comes back with the same pitch. And a beautiful pitch. Now 0-2. Trey Peters looking to limit the damage after the leadoff double by Ashton Webb. The first base hit in this one. 0-2 pitch to Barano. And Barano just cues it to the third base dugout to stay alive. Coyotes playing Barano straight away. The Vaqueros won yesterday's matchup between these two teams, and at Central Arizona, 12-0. Trey Peters, 0-2 pitch. Vaqueros got 2 in the first, 7 in the second.
Barano posting an impressive 371 average on the season, but even more impressive is his slugging percent, 657, which is pretty monstrous for number 31 as he fouls that one straight back.
And right now, a quality AB really making Trey Peters work. And Andrew, 1-2 count. What are you expecting from Trey Peters right here?
I'm expecting that cutter on the inner half of the plate. They're gonna probably try to jam him here. He's putting up a good at-bat, so you really got to beat him with your best pitch.
Trey Peters looks Ashton Webb back.
Reset the pitch clock, maybe.
Peters dialing in on Tate Lewis. 1-2 pitch. And this one gets away. And Webb strolls into third base. The Vaqueros 90 feet away from taking the lead in this one. And Andrew, on that pitch right there, was there miscommunication potentially between the two?
I think that was just a pitch that got away from the both of them. It got away from Trey, who was delivering it, as well as Tate, who was behind the dish, trying to keep it in front.
Meanwhile, Barano slowly working a quality AB against Trey Peters. 2 strikes, he's been a menace. And fouls it off yet again. So you talked about the slugging percentage, Doc, and here's a guy that just, you know, when you have a slugging percentage the way he does is because he's got the ability to put the ball in play, and he's working TP in a big way right here.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's got the frame to hit for power, but it all comes down to how often you can hit the ball. So he's clearly got a good eye to go along with that that power of his.
So Trey Peters dialing in to Tate Lewis. Pitch, and once again, Barano. We have to say this is probably, that was probably pitch 8 in the
somewhere around there, yeah.
at bat.
We're getting up there.
So Barano, we were moving at a speedy pace, and all of a sudden Barano put it in neutral and draws it to 3-2. And Barano, this is just a quality at bat. Fell behind 0-2, fouled off a pitch, laid off. Now it's Peters having to try to get the pesky Barano out. This one bounced up the middle, and Barano shows his worth, fighting, scrapping, and knocks in the first run of the game.
That's very impressive from Barano right there. Stayed in that at bat the whole time. Trey Peters was chopping away, but Barano gets the best of him there.
Barano won a battle right there and just knocks the ball right back up the middle, and a quality at bat, and the Vaqueros strike first, and Lou Albrecht steps in. Pop to first, his first time up. Takes a bender, fouls it off down the third base line. And Doc, now if you're Trey Peters, you've got to lock it up a little bit, because you can't get can't get discouraged because first the double by Webb and then Balrano with the epic at bat.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
one
miss
run.
there.
Yeah, great pitch by Trey, but you know, one run, you have to score a run to win anyways. So for this Coyote team, that one on the board is just adding to the target on the Central's back.
Trey Peters, Lou Albrecht at the dish. And blows the gas right past him. On deck is Marcus Harrison, followed by Luke Thiel, and potentially Cooper Schulte, if it should go that far.
Lou Albrecht, the catcher, also the home run leader for Central Arizona. He's got 3 on the season. Not the biggest frame ever, but you can tell he's got the athletic build. He's got the pop. We've seen the athleticism behind the dish, so no surprise there.
So Trey Peters with a 2-2 count, and as the doc just mentioned, can't just lay one over the course, or Albrecht could give one a ride. And Albrecht now showing his peskiness at the plate. Lays off, well, actually fights off a tough bender by Peters, and it remains 2-2. So give the Vaqueros credit. They're really working some quality bats and forcing Peters to build up that pitch count. 2-2 pitch, and blows it right by him. And great work by Trey Peters for the first out here in the 5th. Marcus Harrison checking in, struck out in the 3rd. Balrano at first base after knocking in Ashton Webb, who led off the inning with a double. Peters checks the runner. Balrano, short lead. Peters goes inside, misses for ball 1. A battle of aces here. Chandler-Gilbert, Trey Peters for the Coyotes, and Matt Wilkinson, the big left-hander for the Vaqueros. 1-0 pitch. That misses outside, goes to 2-0. Plenty of green for Central Arizona and plenty of white and teal for the Coyotes here. Some good local high school talent on hand, checking in the game as well.
Yeah, full packed crowd tonight here at the Chandler-Gilbert baseball field as this ball is lifted over Jamison Armstrong's head, fielded by Ryder Hancock out in right field, and that'll be a single for number 10, Marcus Harrison.
Harrison, little inside out swing to right field, good quality hitting, and that steps in Luke Thiel. And Thiel, as we mentioned in the course of the telecast, is John Watson's going to have a discussion with Trey Peters. Thiel, one of the best hitters in the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference. Coming into this one, Thiel was hitting .426, which was 3rd in the conference. So here's a young man, dangerous situation, runners at first and second. Got to be quite delicate right here with Thiel, who can put the ball in play. So if you're thinking about facing a hitter like Thiel, who's hitting .426, among the best in the conference, Doc, how do you approach him on the mound?
This at-bat is absolutely paramount for Trey Peters to lock in and make a stand, because, you know, when you have runners on first and second, you're facing a guy like Luke Thiel. You can't walk him. You have to pitch to him, but be very cautious in doing so. Utilize your best pitches, your best sequences here. This at-bat means a lot towards the outcome of this game.
So Luke Thiel stepping in. Runners at first and second for the Vaqueros. Started with a Ashton Webb leadoff double, followed by a Balrano. And this one stroked to right field. Luke Thiel, base knock. Runner turning 3rd. Ball's misplayed in right field. 1 run is in. Throw into second base. And the Vaqueros now lead 2-0. And Luke Thiel, one of the best hitters in the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference, comes up big for the Vaqueros here in the top of the 5th. And you kind of talked about this, Doc. You talked about the sequence to Thiel, and Thiel just took a pitch outside part of the plate and stroked it to right. And now the Vaqueros still making some noise with runners at second and third with only one out. And checking in as Cooper Schulte popped out to right his first time up. Trey Peters trying to limit the damage.
Good pitch.
Schulte takes a pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike one. 2 in for the Vaqueros here in the fifth. We talked about a speedy game, and Balrana with an epic at bat slowed things down, and all of a sudden the Vaqueros getting into a comfortable mood at the dish.
Middle infield crashed in right here for the Coyotes. Trying to limit damage here. You know, keeping this game within 2 runs would make, you know, it would make the task very manageable for the offense. You know, Wilkinson, if they can keep extending him in at bats, you know, maybe knock him out of the game around the 7th. That would be a pretty ideal situation for the Yotes as this ball is grounded through the 5-6 hole. One runner is going to come across and one's going to hold up at third. So an RBI single there, and the Vaqueros on the offensive stampede right now. Trey Peters looking to stop the avalanche.
And once again, give credit where credit is due. Cooper Schulte just knocked it through that 5-6 hole, bringing in a run. Now 3 across, only 1 out. Runners at the corners, and stepping in, Tyrese Johnson, pop to right, pop to left.
You know, something worth noting, all the base hits off of Trey Peters have been on pitches that were elevated in the zone, nothing really below the middle of the thigh. So for Peters, keeping the ball down would be to his best interest, as that ball is drilled down the third base line. One runner's coming across, and the runner from first is going to also sneak on through. So 2 more runs come across for the Vaqueros, and Trey Peters finding himself in some troubles here.
Tyrese Johnson strokes one down the left field line. 2 come in, and the Vaqueros put up a 5 spot here in the 5th. And stepping in, Blake Avila. Pop to center, then grounded out to second. Only 1 out here as the Vaqueros getting comfortable at the dish against Trey Peters. Trey Peters trying to stop the bleeding with Avila at the deck. And that one is low for ball 1. And this, give credit where credit is due. Ashton Webb, the double down the line, but Balrana with an epic at bat that really got things in motion, knocking in the first run, maybe throwing Peters off his rhythm. And Avila takes low. Runner at second, 5 in for the Vaqueros. A team red hot, winning 10 in a row. Beating the Coyotes yesterday on their home turf, 12-0.
Trey, last 2 pitches for him have been balls low, so it seems like he's trying to make the adjustment, and he just needs to find the happy medium as this ball is grounded over to JMO at second, fielded cleanly, and the throw is good. So the runner will advance from second to third, and Trey Peters records his 2nd out of the inning.
And stepping in is Jonathan Hernandez, who struck out his first time up and popped to center in the 4th. And on deck is the man who started it all, Ashton Webb, with the leadoff double. Trey Peters with a tough 5th inning, 5 in. That misses low in the dirt for ball 1. Vaqueros showing their poise at the dish, working the count and finding the holes in the Coyotes defense. 1-0 pitch to Hernandez. And that one gets away. And rolling in is Johnson. And the lead is now 6-0.
That one looked like a two-seam that moved more than Tate was expecting. And that'll add to the total for Central. 6 now here in the top of the 5th. Trey Peters deals, good slider on the outer part of the dish.
Yeah,
for strike one.
When we kind of look at the replay, because there's a little bit of a delay on YouTube when we get it, and when you see it, it's almost like Tate wasn't expecting the pitch.
Yeah.
When you see it, he was handcuffed a little bit and maybe expecting something else in the repertoire, and looked like he got like a two-seam fastball going in. And needless to say, another run is in for the Vaqueros, now with 6 in here in the 5th. And that misses. And Hernandez now working a quality AB. Ashton Webb on deck, who started this inning with a leadoff double. This one, broken bat, ground over short, Plew, the throw over, and that will do it. But the Vaqueros score early, often, and then more. They put up a 6 spot. Coyotes coming up, trailing 6-0. So we go to the home half of the 5th. Dante Turgeon, Tate Lewis, Ryder Hancock. Now the Coyotes looking to respond, looking for their first hit. For strike one. Matt Wilkinson. 6 strikeouts so far. And comes right back, and he is dealing fierce. Dante, one of the conference leaders in RBIs and home runs. Now has to protect the plate. And he's going down swinging just like that. Matt Wilkinson coming out dealing here in the 6th. Checking in, Tate Lewis struck out his first time up. So Matt Wilkinson came into this one, ERA stellar, 1.54, 5-0, 2 complete games. Building on his resume for D1 teams out there to take notice. Tate Lewis takes a better for strike one. And we saw the other night from Madison College, Alex Hayes, an impressive freshman. And now we see a sophomore and Matt Wilkinson, who has just upped the ante against the Coyotes.
Yeah, the Coyotes are struggling to come up with an answer for Matt Wilkinson here. He's just mixing, and that ball is skied very high by Tate Lewis. The right fielder's coming in, and he makes the grab. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
And that's a great play by Tyrese Johnson because he has the play. The ball skied in the air long enough for him to hustle in, call up the second baseman who's backpedaling for the second out of the inning. Checking in, Ryder Hancock. He struck out his first time up. So Matt Wilkinson, he has the savviness of an ace. He has the goods of an ace. He has the frame of David Wells, of the former Yankee and Baltimore Orioles pitcher, and he was a good one back in the day. And Matt Wilkinson is a good one as well. And he's working quickly on Ryder Hancock. The Vaqueros playing Hancock straight away.
You know, Wilkinson, it's his second time going through the Yodi offensive lineup here, and he hasn't showed any patterns. I mean, he's throwing what he wants when he wants, and that's part of the reason why the Yodis have been struggling so much. Some at bats he'll triple up on a fastball, and then the next he won't even throw you a fastball. So for this Yodi offense, they're really going to have to work hard to pick Matt Wilkinson apart.
And Wilkinson dials up the outside part of the plate, and that is going to do it for the Coyotes in the 5th. We go to the 6th with the Vaqueros with a 6-0 lead. And we go to the 6th inning. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Coyotes. That is freshman right-hander Jacob Anderson. Comes in with an ERA of 2.35. 0-1 on the season. He's pitched 15 1/3 innings. And stepping in, Ashton Webb. And the book is shut on Trey Peters. 5 innings, 6 runs allowed. Ashton Webb started the 6-run 5th with a leadoff double. He comes right back and fires some gas. On deck is the pesky Mario Bajarano, who was epic in his at-bat against Trey Peters. Talk about that in a moment. Pitch from Jacob Anderson, and that is shot in the gap by Ashton Webb. And Webb, big turn at second base, and Webb with his second double in consecutive innings, and the Vaqueros making some more noise here in the top of the 6th. Now stepping in is Mario Bajorano, and we kind of talked about that in that last inning. Webb led off with a double, and Bajorano really had an epic at bat against Trey Peters, fouling off pitches. He started with an 0-2 count, but worked it, fouled off pitches, and then cue ball shot that maybe ultimately got Trey Peters off his rhythm.
Yeah, that base hit up the middle was really, it really felt like a momentum shift. That's when it started to creep up that, you know, maybe Peters might be running into some trouble here against this formidable offense of Central Arizona.
Vaqueros are a tough team. They really do some good things. They're patient at the plate. They work the count.
Good pitch.
Jacob Anderson hits the outside part of the plate. They're not big free swingers. Coming in with a team batting average of .290. So they have a complete game at the dish. Bajorano, 0-2 count. And just like he was against Trey Peters, now he fights off a third pitch from Jacob Anderson.
Stubborn indeed.
Coming into this one, hitting .371. So that average tells you that here's a young man that finds a way to put the ball in play. And when you can do that, you give your team an opportunity. And this time, the Coyotes and Anderson sit down the pesky Bajorano for the first out here in the 6th. And stepping in is Lou Albrecht, who K'd his last time up. So Jacob Anderson gives up the leadoff double and fires the gas past Bajorano. Now he takes aim at Lou Albrecht. Albrecht behind the dish for Matt Wilkinson, bounces it over to Armstrong, and just a great play by JMO right there. In between hop, read it like a champ.
Made it look easy.
Absolutely. Great play by Armstrong. For the second out here, and stepping in is Marcus Harrison. Struck out and singled part of that 6-run 5th. Runner at third. And big gas by Anderson for strike 1.
You know, that fastball, I believe, is Jacob's greatest asset. He throws that thing in the low 9s, you know, up to 93. And it looks so much harder when you're down there. He throws a very heavy ball. You know, it really makes it sounds like it's heavy when it's hitting the glove of the catcher. And that's because of his incredibly high spin rate. His ball is very hard to hit.
0-2 pitch, and he dials it up right there. And Marcus Harrison going back to the bench. A good start for Jacob Anderson here in the 6th. The Coyotes look to answer with the sticks in the home half coming up. Home half of the 6th as the Coyotes get another crack at Matt Wilkinson. So far, 5 innings. No hits, no runs allowed. With 8 strikeouts.
You brought it up, Joe. No hits here against Mr. Matt Wilkinson. Wilkinson, his fastball's, it's been very effective tonight, but he's only in the high 80s tonight. He's ran it up to 91 just once, and it just goes to show when you can pitch, you don't need mid to high 90s to dominate.
Matt Wilkinson, that nice delivery, smooth and confident on the mound, in total control of his arsenal, just rocking and throwing. And Ethan Hatch trying to break his concentration and has to protect the plate with 2 strikes. And that bender, a beauty, and Hatch fouls it off that right side. And Lou Albrecht behind the dish, doing a nice job working with this lefty on the mound. Wilkinson rocks and fires and blows it right past Ethan Hatch. Foul tip for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Checking in, Matthew Diamato. Diamato grounded out to third. And Schulte over at third base. We kind of talked about, we're kind of setting the scene here. Along the way, when you have a pitcher like Wilkinson who is dealing, who's in the middle, we'll get more into no conversation probably
right
after, if he gets through this 6th unscathed. But along the way, he's gotten some great defense by Schulte at third, who set the tone in that first inning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Diamato tries to bunt his way on. Not a bad idea.
No.
And Diamato.
Anything to get the gears moving for the Yodi offense. You know what I mean? Just break the ice.
Blake Tigas on deck. Piquero's playing Diamato straight away. Wilkinson winding and delivering. Goes high. 2-1 on Diamato. Tigas on deck. Popped out to right his first time up. Great weather, not cold. Broadcast team in shorts, feeling good, loud and proud. And that is just a diamond of a bender on the outside part of the plate.
And the umpire rung him up accidentally.
And he goes,
getting excited.
Yeah. He wants to go home. No, I'm just kidding.
2-2 pitch from Wilkinson. And that's fouled off by Diamato. Defensive swing just to stay alive. And Wilkinson just comfortable.
Diamato was very, very good at the plate. He loves to battle, get into deep counts, and he proves it again right there. That one fouled straight back into the broadcasting booth.
We got one right here.
Finally.
Yeah, it's in the corner.
It's in that. That's wild. Dude. We were unable to make the play, too.
Yeah, we do have a souvenir. And how about Matt Wilkinson? He's like, give me a new ball. I'm going to ring him up. So Wilkinson just on a tear. Now with 9 strikeouts. And Blake Tigas trying to break his concentration. Wilkinson. And that's a first pitch strike. And Doc, you kind of alluded to it. Look, he doesn't throw high 90s, doesn't throw mid 90s. So here's a guy that just, and this one's lifted deep left.
Blake Tigas.
Going back is the left fielder, and right there makes the play. On the run was Jonathan Hernandez, and that is a long out by Blake Tigas. And we go to the 7th inning with the Coyotes trailing 6-0. Bottom of the 7th, Jacob Anderson in his 2nd inning of relief. He takes over for Trey Peters, who gave up 6 runs on 6 hits in the 5th inning. Anderson scoreless in the 6th as Luke Thiel steps in. Pop to right, RBI single, part of the 6-run 5th inning for the Vaqueros. First pitch, that's bounce foul. Thiel, one of the leading hitters in the conference, coming into this one, hitting .426. So here's a young man who just knows one thing: success at the dish. Swings and misses right there. Quickly behind in the count.
Oof.
Jacob Anderson, the right-hander.
Some lightning off in the distance. Hopefully that's not moving this way.
And Anderson misses on the outer part of the plate. Yeah, so far Mother Nature has cooperated. Yes, a little bit lightning in the distance. And we've seen some lightning on the mound, courtesy of Matt Wilkinson of the Vaqueros. 6 innings strong.
Talk about lightning. That fastball was whizzed right past Thiel. So Jacob Anderson flashing his best weapon in his arsenal, that high fastball, man. Because he throws it with such high spin rate, that thing stays carrying. It just stays up. So hitters that, normally might get to the high fastball have no chance against Jacob Anderson. And bunt flashed there, fouled over the broadcasting booth.
Cooper Schulte's first time up. Pop to right, RBI single. Part of that big 6-run 5th inning. Curveball misses on the outside part of the plate. So coming up for the Coyotes, they'll have the top of the order in the 7th against Matt Wilkinson. But meanwhile, Jacob Anderson with some work to do here in the top of the 7th. And busts the outside part of the plate against Cooper Schulte, who really set the tone with a couple great defensive plays. A diving stop on a flare by Hashizaki and robbed Armstrong of a base hit on a bunt attempt. And that one gets loose. In every great pitching outing, there has to be some great defense along the way, and
Yeah.
this young man at the dish has provided it for the Vaqueros. Anderson rocks and fires and blows the gas right past Schulte for the 2nd out. Stepping in, Tyrese Johnson.
There it is once again, that high fastball from Jacob Anderson. The Vaqueros think they can get up to it, but they have no answer for that right now. So Jacob Anderson looking sharp here.
Tyrese Johnson with a 2-run double, part of that 5-run 5th. Make that 6-run 5th. Swings and misses on that first pitch. Blake Avila on deck. Anderson locking in. Just misses high on the outside part of the plate. After tonight's game, as Anderson fires, and this one's fouled out of play. Coyotes with some doubleheader action on Monday, taking on the Okotoks Dogs at 1, followed by Arizona Christian University JV at 6. And then Tuesday, Scottsdale Postgrad at 2, followed by the Okotoks Dogs at 6. And great work by Jacob Anderson, getting Johnson. And we go to the bottom of the 7th as Matt Wilkinson riding a no-no against the Coyotes. Bottom of the 7th, Ben Hashizaki, Jameson Armstrong, and Camden Plew taking their hacks against Matt Wilkinson. Total control. 6 innings, no runs, no hits allowed. Only one base runner. That was Armstrong in the 4th, and he was picked off. So Hash, the Fighting Canadian, looking to make some noise on American turf here in South Chandler. Shows bunt, pulls back. And the Coyotes need base runners as Schulte at third base on the grass. This one spanked through the left side, and that is the first base hit of the night for the Coyotes. Hashizaki. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, put it through the 5 and 6 hole, and here we are, Coyotes with a base runner, making some noise here in the home half of the 7th.
This is exactly what the Yotes needed. The leadoff of the inning and the top of the order gets things done, breaks up the no-no, and brings up Jameson Armstrong.
Armstrong showing bunt immediately and pulls back and takes a strike. Armstrong grounded out on a great play by Schulte on a bunt attempt, and then walked and got picked off in the 4th. Runner at first base is Hashizaki. Armstrong and Wilkinson trying to keep Hashizaki close, throws over. Schulte in on the grass at third base. Armstrong showed bunt on the first pitch, pulled back. And Wilkinson fires the fastball on the outside part of the plate. It goes to 0-2. So Andrew, if you're catcher Lou Albrecht right now, and Matt Wilkinson has been in this zone the way he has, how great is it to be catching this young man on the mound right now?
It's so fun to be a part of games like this because it really feels like you're just in like the backyard and it's just the two of you playing baseball. And I'm sure that's exactly the feeling that's going on because Tugboat's been, or that's what they call him, Tugboat,
Yeah.
has been amazing.
Oh, man. Once again, Tugboat picks off a Yodi runner, Ben Hashizaki, in the rundown now. And man, he is quick.
And another great pickoff play by Matt Wilkinson, and the great diving tag by Marcus Harrison at second base, and that's a quality pickle play by the Vaqueros, chasing the runner back to the bag he came from, and Harrison put it in fifth gear, tagged him, and another runner picked off by Matt Wilkinson. Now Armstrong with no runners on, and that one gets away. And that right there, it's got to be like deflating for a sense. You get a runner on, and then lefty with the great pickoff move, and all of a sudden the bases are cleared. Wilkinson dialing. This one bounced to the left side. The right side, that is, and the easy 4-3 put out. Stepping in, Camden Plew has struck out a couple times. And Wilkinson moving quickly.
The Central Arizona defense maybe thought they had 3 outs there, but those were the first 2 batters of the inning. So Paolo Hutchison with funny remark saying it's hard to count to 3. So Camden Plew swings over the top of that one. And back to business for Wilkinson. 0-1 the count.
Wilkinson fires and checks with the first base umpire. Camden Plew laid off. 1-1 count. Wilkinson only 1 hit allowed. Ben Hashizaki with a leadoff single here in the home half of the 7th, but then was picked off. High fastball misses out of the zone. 2-1 on Camden Plew. On deck, Dante Turgeon, who has struck out a couple times. Matt Wilkinson. If there are D1 schools dialed in on this YouTube telecast, they want this young man like tomorrow. Now it goes to 2-2 on Camden Plew. And Wilkinson and Lou Albrecht as if they're in the backyard. And that right there is a dialed up bender. And look at Wilkinson bouncing off the mound, all fired up. And a look back at that Coyotes bench, and that is going to do it for the Coyotes here in the home half of the 7th. We go to the 8th. The Vaqueros up 6-0. Jacob Anderson going into his 3rd inning of relief, taking over for Trey Peters, who lasted 5 innings after giving up 6 in the 5th. Stepping in, Blake Avila. Popped to center and grounded out a couple times to Jamison Armstrong. First pitch. Avila swings right through it for strike one. Jacob Anderson with an opportunity. A freshman coming in with an ERA of 2.35 and really showing a feisty fastball. And that one is high for ball one. Avila at the dish looking to jumpstart the Vaqueros here in the eighth. Bender outside part of the plate. A nice one. Goes to 1-2. Avila, Jonathan Hernandez, and Ashton Webb. And Webb has been a thorn in the Coyotes side tonight with a couple doubles. 1-2 pitch. And Tate Lewis.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like that grazed off Blake Avila, and Avila's getting the free pass, and John Watson trying to get a explanation from the home plate umpire, and needs to say Avila gets hit by a pitch, and that's how it's going to start for the Coyotes here in the top of the eighth. And the doctor checking with New York for the replay to make sure it was that. Another look.
Very hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah.
But Jacob Anderson, the setup was for the high end fastball, and he did not miss his spot.
Hernandez takes a first pitch strike. So as we look on that replay, if the air is considered part of the body, then no question. Then he was hit by a pitch. But
yeah, it didn't look like the ball's flight path changed too much or at all, but not the greatest angle from New York, so Coyotes gonna have to deal with a little bit more adversity here.
Hernandez with a couple quick strikes with Anderson on the mound, trying to keep Avila close. 0-2 pitch. This one fouled off. Vaqueros showing their feistiness at the plate and their ability to fight off tough pitches down in the count. On Monday, the Coyotes take on the Akatok Dogs at 1, followed by Arizona Christian University JV at 6. Then Tuesday, Scottsdale Postgrad at 2. And now we have some more drama. Looks like a balk was called, as Avila will work his way down to second base. So Hernandez with the 0-2 count, and Jacob Anderson trying to sit him down, and does with the nice curveball on the outside part of the plate for the first out here in the top of the eighth. Ashton Webb checking in. Pop to right, couple doubles. Last two times up. A couple quality ABs by Ashton Webb. And Webb really finding himself here in Chandler. He was coming in hitting only 280. But sometimes it just takes a certain location, a certain groove, a certain feel, a certain karma to get it done. And he has done that tonight, going 2 for 3. Takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Jacob Anderson and Tate Lewis trying to get on the same page. Anderson looking the runner back. Goes off the rubber, chases Avila back. And we'll do it all over again. Nate Ortiz providing the great camera work. Locked and loaded. And that misses inside as Tate Lewis looks the runner back at second. So Adam Perry wants to be a doctor.
Yes.
Andrew Furry wants to be a dynamic businessman. What does Nate Ortiz want to be? Let's get kind of a perspective. And we're going to welcome in Nate Ortiz to the telecast. Nate, thank you for joining us right here.
Yeah, of course. How we doing?
Very well, very well. So, Nate, your impressions of what you've seen tonight from Jacob Anderson in relief of Trey Peters?
Oh yeah, really coming in, hucking it. You know, that fastball has some life on it for sure.
Yeah.
Jacobs always seems to be reliable in these kind of situations to hold runs from coming across the board.
This one skied straight back as the pesky Ashton Webb fighting it off, and Webb has been a thorn in the Coyote side tonight with a pair of doubles. Started the 6-run fifth inning. And now he's trying to fight off Jacob Anderson. That ball goes through the wickets of Tate Lewis, and Avila will work his way to third base.
And Nate, you made a good point about Jacob, preventing runs from coming across. He has a 2.35 ERA on the season over 5 appearances, so he's been quite reliable for the Coyotes in relief. 1 start, but he's really found himself in the heart of this Coyotes relief. Middle of the staff, out of the pen, dominating. And that's what he's been doing tonight with that high fastball. Yet again, gets another swinging strike 3.
Blows that right past Ashton Webb for the second out of the inning. And stepping in, another pesky hitter, Mario Bajarano. Grounded out, RBI single, and struck out. Anderson wheeling and gets the outside part of the plate for strike 1.
Good spot and some good glove work right there from Tate Lewis, helping his pitcher out.
Jacob Anderson bringing the goods. 0-1 pitch. And that one fires it right over the plate for strike 2.
Yeah, these Central Arizona hitters definitely aren't easy outs, but Jacob's going right at him here.
Coming fast and furiously. 0-2 count. Misses high. Try to get Bajarano to chase. Lays off. 1-2. Runner at third. Avila, who got on a questionable hit by pitch. And when I mean questionable, I mean questionable. This one skied out of play. We looked at the replay several times.
Yeah. Interesting.
Needs to say it's is what it is with the runner at third and the scoreboard in the favor of the Vaqueros. And that misses inside as Bajarano lays off.
So once again, we're seeing from Bajarano what he does best, and that's extending at bats from 0-2 now to 2-2. Bajarano is not going down without a fight.
A 371 hitter coming in. They go inside, and Bajarano gets the heat blown right by him. And Jacob Anderson showing his mettle out of the pen. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the home team trailing 6-0. So we go to the home half of the 8th, and the Vaqueros setting in a new pitcher. Right-hander, redshirt freshman, Jake Seward. He's thrown only 9 innings, ERA at 4. And we bring back Nate Ortiz. And Nate, you saw Matt Wilkinson, the night he had. 7 innings, 1 hit allowed, no runs. Your thoughts on what you saw from Matt Wilkinson?
Wilkinson just definitely, he was just up there with the confidence radiating off him up there, just going right at all the hitters without any remorse there.
And now we go to the Coyotes, and Dante Turgeon steps in, struck out a couple times, among the league leaders in home runs and RBIs. And maybe a change of pitching will do the Coyotes good here in the home half of the 8th. First pitch, and Seward loses his lid but doesn't lose control, fires a first pitch strike.
You know, it's interesting to see that the Vaqueros bullpen is in full effect right now. They've got 2 guys warming up out there. So maybe giving a short leash to this pitcher who hasn't seen many innings on the season.
And he comes back with a bender that gets Dante bailing just a tad. Quickly 0-2.
Yeah, Wilkinson's performance definitely showing on the scoreboard over there as he held the Yotes to 0 in 7 innings.
And great start by Jack Seward. Turgeon on 3 pitches. Stepping in now, Tate Lewis struck out and flew to right. So, Doc, you've been in this situation before. When you got a guy who's dealing, your ace, how infectious is good pitching within the course of a staff?
Yeah, I mean, when your ace goes out there and dominates, some of the times you can get an offense that's already defeated for you. You know what I mean? Just in front of you and not putting up as good of a fight. But this Yodi offense has no quit in them, and I'm sure Jack Seward will have to put on a good performance to put these Yodis away.
So Jack Seward gets Turgeon on 3 pitches and quickly goes to 0-2 on tantalizing Tate.
Yeah, he's working pretty fast here.
Seward checking in on his catcher, Lou Albrecht. Seward rocks and fires, and that one right through, and Tate Lewis could not handle it. So 2 up, 2 down. And Ryder Hancock steps in. Hancock on the night struck out a couple times. It's been a tough night for the Coyotes at the plate with 12 strikeouts. Hancock, first pitch from Seward. And a nasty slider that bends in on Hancock and couldn't hold up. So here's a young man who's seen limited innings, only 9 innings, ERA at 4, and is coming out and looking like he just got a place on this field, and deservingly so. A couple quick strikes on Hancock. Seward. And Hancock lays off, barely.
Good take there.
Coyotes with only 1 hit in this one, courtesy of Ben Hashizaki off Matt Wilkinson in the 7th, but was picked off. And that one gets away. And the throw down. And just a great outing by Seward coming in relief and firing the heat. We go to the 9th with the Coyotes trailing 6-0. We go to the top of the ninth and a new pitcher for the Coyotes. It's hard-throwing right-hander Jace Benke. ERA of 3.18. And Doc, break it down on Jace Benke.
So Jace Benke, I mean, he's been a pretty solid closer so far this season for the Coyotes. Only run into trouble, I believe, on one occasion. And, you know, his arsenal, he's got the low 90s fastball. He's got the big sweeping slider, and he's got a changeup. But his real 1-2 combo is that fastball and slider. He throws across his body a little bit, so that slider, I mean, he can start it behind a right-handed hitter and have it end up in the left-handed batter's box. So something to watch out for tonight is Jace Benke's slider as he looks to face this dominant Central Arizona offense.
Jace Benke on the hill, and stepping in is Lou Albrecht. And Lou Albrecht might be the unsung hero for the Vaqueros in this one, because he's not putting up numbers as far as what he's doing with the stick, but behind the plate, he's called a tremendous game for Matt Wilkinson and now Jack Seward in relief.
Yeah, absolutely. He has, you know, whenever you see a pitcher going deep into a game and pitching phenomenal, there's two sides to that coin, and the other side is your catcher. You know, you have to really be in tandem with them and on the same page if you want to find success. It throws a pitcher off if he's constantly having to shake off his catcher, but when the pitcher and catcher can get into a groove, bad things can happen, and we're seeing that here tonight.
Albrecht takes a strike, and Albrecht at the dish tonight. Popped to first, struck out, and grounded out to second. And would make his night complete. Maybe a base knock here, and knowing he did a little bit of everything here at Chandler-Gilbert. Benke misses, bounces one. And Albrecht staying alive at the dish. Albrecht followed by Marcus Harrison and Luke Thiel. Vaqueros here in the ninth in a game that's moved lightning fast. Hour 55 minutes in. Courtesy of good pitching on both sides.
That one too high and inside for Jace Benke. It'll bounce off the elbow guard for number 15.
So the Vaqueros work the hit by pitch, and Marcus Harrison steps in, struck out, singled, part of the 6-run fifth, and then struck out again, followed by Luke Thiel and Cooper Schulte. Jace Benke would love to have a quality outing here on a Saturday night in South Chandler, and comes high and hard with the heat to Harrison for strike one. So the Coyotes get tomorrow off, and then they're back in action against the Akadoc Dogs, and this one is fouled off. Quickly, 2 strikes. Akadoc Dogs, 1 p.m., followed by Arizona Christian University JV at 6 on Monday. Then on Tuesday, Scottsdale Post Grad at 2, followed by the Akadoc Dogs at 6 p.m. 0-2 pitch from Jace Benke. That's fouled off. Of course, the doctor and the business firm of Furry Inc. and the fellow doctor of Nate Ortiz will handle those early telecasts, and yours truly will be in on the later. 0-2 pitch from Jace Benke. And Benke
not missing by too much there.
doesn't get the call.
The 0-2. That looked like a little slider on the outside part of the plate, and the umpire didn't like it. So 1-2.
Harrison staying alive at the dish. Jace Benke looking for the first out here in the ninth. Runner's going, and that bounces in the dirt, and the runner will stand up to second And Banky with maybe some nerves going here in this ninth inning. Overthrowing just a tad. And Marcus Harrison, like we've seen throughout this Vaqueros lineup tonight, working another good AB. Patience at the dish. And this one skied down the right field line. Hancock giving chase, and it'll go out of play. So Marcus Harrison staying alive. This Vaqueros team, winners of 10 straight, 21-5 coming in, 13-2 in league play. The defending Division I champions coming in with a big-time resume and showing why. Marcus Harrison, Jace Banky, a battle right here. Banky looking the runner back. And that one gets away. And Harrison is going to work his way down to first base as the pitch gets away from Tate Lewis. Now Luke Thiel checks in. And for Jace Banky right now, Doc, here's a young man trying to find himself on the mound. Hits the first batter. Ball gets away from Tate Lewis on a one-hopper at the dish. What do you want to see from Jace throughout this rest of this inning?
I want to see him establish that dominant fastball of his. You know, that will allow him to maybe gain confidence in the slider as he deals a fastball inside part of the plate for strike one right there. But if he's able to set up that fastball more consistently, his slider will become more of a weapon. Seems like these Vaqueros are almost able to sit on the fastball at this point. And, ooh, beautiful spot by Jace Banky right there. Doesn't get the call. So 1-1. Now the count.
Runners at the corners. And Thiel at the dish, one of the leading hitters in the conference. And that misses inside, goes to 2-1. Vaqueros won yesterday's matchup 12-0, leading this one 6-0 with a 6-run fifth against Trey Peters. Now a 2-1 count on Luke Thiel. And that misses low, goes to 3-1. Cooper Schulte on deck. Good crowd on hand for tonight's ball game between the Vaqueros and the Coyotes. This one bounced to the left side and over the glove of Ethan Hatch, and that brings in a run. So Luke Thiel battles, and delivers. And the lead is now 7-0 with Cooper Schulte about to step in. Give the hard home plate surface an assist on that one. The high chopper. Hatch had no chance. Skied over his head on the leaping grab. Now it's Schulte. Pop to center. RBI single in the 6-run fifth. Shows bunt and struck out. Vaqueros knocking on the door for some more here in the ninth. It started with a hit by pitch to Lou Albrecht. Marcus Harrison struck out, ball got away, and then Luke Thiel, RBI single to left.
Flashes bunt again and misses it, so that's in there for a strike. Jace Banky doing his best here. The Vaqueros runners on first and second with no outs in the top of the ninth.
Banky looking for the first out here in the top of the ninth. Comes with a bender, and Cooper Schulte is retired for the first out. Stepping in, Tyrese Johnson. Pop to right, pop to left. 2-run double, part of the 6-run fifth, and then struck out. He'll get his first look at Jace Binky. And for the young man who started this inning rough, you'd like to see him lock it up and end on a strong note. And he starts the at bat by Johnson with a strike on the inside part of the plate. And Doc, maybe sometimes it's not how you start an inning, but how you collect yourself and build your confidence along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Jace has been showing a lot of poise since allowing that run of his, and this ball is grounded up the middle, fielded by Enright and flipped to J-Mo. The double play is picked by Dante Turgeon. So some good work from the defense there. Jace Banky able to escape the top of the ninth. Just one run allowed. Did a great job at minimizing. And the Coyotes now have to answer here in the bottom of the ninth.
So the Vaqueros going to the third pitcher of the night after a nice inning by Jack Seward. 1 inning relief and dialed it up with 3 Ks after a strong outing by lefty Matt Wilkinson, who went 7 innings, no runs allowed, 1 hit with 10 strikeouts. Now stepping in is a freshman left-hander, Michael Troush. And Troush only 6 2/3 innings pitched, ERA of 2.70. And he can bring the gas, 17 strikeouts. 3 hits and 2 earned runs allowed. Last gasp opportunity time, and it starts with Ethan Hatch at the dish.
You mentioned that he has 17 strikeouts over 6.2 innings pitched, so that means there were a total of 3 outs that he recorded that didn't come by way of strikeout, which is absolutely absurd.
So we've seen this Vaqueros team, a team fresh off winning a national title, and in the course of what they have in the arsenal, they shut out the Coyotes at their park on Friday, 12-0, and now returning the favor here in Chandler, leading 6-0. And this is a team, we've seen how poised and confident they are at the plate offensively, but they've got the arms to boot, and defensively they can match it as well. And Troush now looking to add the cherry for a fine Super Saturday for this Vaqueros team, and busts a fastball on the inside part of the plate against Hatch. Couple strikes on Ethan, looking to stay alive. And the Coyotes looking to put a run on the board against this Vaqueros team. Troush. And Troush gets Hatch swinging to throw down to first base in time. And that's the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. Michael Troush, a freshman left-hander. Stepping in, Matthew Diamato grounded to third and struck out as well. Vaqueros playing Diamato straight away. Troush and Lou Albeck now the battery mates. And Diamato takes low for ball 1. Troush has a little bit of that herky-jerky kind of motion, Doc, and needs to say he can deliver the gas.
Yeah, very herky-jerky. He has a lighter-looking frame, and this ball is hit very well by Matthew D'Amato, and tracking is the left fielder.
Jonathan
Beautiful
Hernandez.
catch by him, and man, if it wasn't nighttime, that ball might be deposited over the left center wall, but the ball does not fly here at night at this Chandler-Gilbert field.
And that's just a great play by Hernandez. Look, he drops steps. He goes about like 20 feet over his left and dials it in. So we've seen Schulte at third base be dynamic. We've seen Hernandez make a couple great running catches on the mound, flat out owning it. And this Vaqueros team showing a well-balanced arsenal all the way around. As Blake Tigas, his last time up, he gave one a ride against Matt Wilkinson.
Yeah.
He drove it deep to the track, and Hernandez drop-stepped and made a great catch there. Quickly goes to 0-1 from Troush. Troush has a little bit of a clean Kershaw delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Troush, he looks like he relies a lot on his athleticism in his throw, and you know, it's very clear to see that he's an explosive athlete. Herky-jerky and just explosion at the end, and Blake Tiggs grounds us over to third. It's fielded cleanly, and that'll do it here tonight. Coyotes fall victim to the Vaqueros, 7-0.
Yeah, 7-0. This Vaqueros team really, you name it. Matt Wilkinson, if we had to give a player of the game to the opposing team, Matt Wilkinson definitely earns it. 7 shutout innings, 1 hit allowed, 10 strikeouts. He was simply dynamic. The offense put it up 6 runs, part of a 6-run fifth. Tyrese Johnson led that charge with a 2-run double in that inning. And the Coyotes could get nothing going offensively. So the squad has now lost 7 in a row. And right now it's a little bit of a reflection time for the team as they try to pull themselves out of this little tailspell they're currently in. And they dropped to 13-12, 7-9 in league. And they're back at it on Monday as they get Sunday to recoup. They've got the Okadok Dogs 1 p.m. followed by Arizona Christian University JV at 6. Tuesday, the Scottsdale Post Grad at 2, followed by the Okadok Dogs at 6 p.m. And Andrew, we've talked a good amount about this one, and want to get your perspective on what you saw tonight from the Coyotes, and of course Matt Wilkinson and how dominant he was in this circle.
I saw a dominance on one side of the ball, and that was the pitching side tonight. It looked like we were going to have a pitcher's duel starting out, and the one that could go the distance was Zach Wilkinson. And he did a really good job of just coming out, getting ahead of hitters, and he was able to throw what he wanted in certain situations. And you could tell he knew that was going to work because of his confidence throughout the game. He came out and he was ready. He was dialed in from the start, and he finished extremely well. And then behind him were just 2 other great arms that were able to complete the shutout for the Vaqueros tonight.
And as we look back at Trey Peters' start, and Trey, look, he's coasting through 4 innings. He gives up the leadoff double to Ashton Webb in that 5th inning. And then Bejarano just works an epic at bat. And Adam, how pivotal was that to throw Trey Peters his timing off and get him out of a good rhythm, which he was in leading into that inning?
Yeah, that really felt like a turning point in this game. You know, when Mario was able to extend the bat and get Trey Peters on his timing, you know, that really was the catalyst for the offensive explosion of the Vaqueros. And, you know, Trey Peters, someone who's very confident on the rubber, he knows what he's capable of, was just overwhelmed after that, and it seemed like he really couldn't find his footing again. He did get out of the inning, but the damage was already done. And, you know, when you supplement that with the outstanding performance from Matt Wilkinson, you know, what I would say probably the best pitching performance against the Coyotes on the season, it's very hard to win a game where the starter of the other team goes 7 innings, 1 walk, 1 hit, and no runs.
So Wilkinson improves to 6-0. That ERA of 1.54. Well, it's probably now dialed down to 1.40. He was that simply dynamite. And we got a little field perspective from some of the Coyotes players, and they just talked about how nasty Wilkinson was. His stuff just coming off was just simply electric. And when you got a pitcher who just seems so comfortable within that circle, which he was, the Coyotes simply had no answer. So Trey Peters picks up his first loss, drops to 3-1 on the season, and the Coyotes will have Sunday off, and of course they get back to work on Monday. And we appreciate you dialing us up on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network for Nate Ortiz, a newcomer to the broadcast team, as well as the businessman, the future Bill Gates, the business firm of Furry Inc., and to the future doctor of America, Adam Perry. I am Joe Pequeno. We appreciate you dialing up right here on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network. Final, once again, it's the Vaqueros with the 7-0 victory over Chandler-Gilbert.